Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to the reflection session for today. I hope you're all well. Inshallah, we're starting in a minute. So, Sayyid, whenever you're ready, Bismillah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد والثناء لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا وحبيب قلوبنا وشفيع ذنوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجه. I hope all of you are doing well, inshallah. Continuing with the discussions that we've been having with regards to verses of the Quran, inshallah, the verse that I would like to share with you today is verse number 33 of Surah Luqman. So Surah Luqman is Surah number 31 and verse number 33. So 31, 33. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم واخشوا يوما لا يجزي والد عن ولده ولا مولود هو جاز عن والده شيئا. So it says, O people, be wary of Allah. اتقوا ربكم. Practice taqwa. Be wary of Allah. The Quran is telling us to be wary of Allah, but fear the day. Which day? وَاخْشَوْا يَوْمًا لَا يَجْزِي وَالِدٌ عَنْ وَلَدِهِ وَلَا مَوْلُودًا وَجَازٌ عَنْ وَالِدِهِ شَيْئًا. Basically, in saying that no father will be able to um, atone for or take care of or pay for any of their children's actions, neither would a child be able to atone or be able to pay for or be able to be any good for the father. So neither way. And then it continues, Inna wa'dallahi haqq, and know that certainly the promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the truth. So therefore, do not let the worldly life deceive you, and do not let um, the gharur deceive you. Gharur over here meaning shaitan. So overall, well, when we look at this verse, we understand that, and if you look at the verses before, we won't go through it, but if you look at the verses before it, and it talks about various things, and then this is almost like the um, end of the end of the surah, and it's kind of like, putting everything, like tying the loose ends and kind of trying to tell us, okay, so this is basically the end result of it. That there's a few things that you should be careful of, and there are few things that you should not lose sight of. One, that because there's all these things in this world, because there's all these challenges, therefore practice taqwa. Now, taqwa is something that I think we've talked about it several times, but might as well just very briefly touch on it. When we talk about taqwa, right, sometimes taqwa is referred to as fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to be scared of Allah. Whereas the reality is that that is not what we're looking for. The meaning of taqwa is not to be scared. And if you look at it in the same verse, it's talking about two things, right? It's talking about Ya ayyuhan nas ittaqu rabbakum, that practice taqwa with regards to your Rabb. And then the next word, wakhshaw, this means fear, right? It's like wakhshaw yawman. So be fearful or beware, or this is more of a warning with regards to the day. So with regards to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's saying beware or be wary, practice taqwa, and with regards to the day, it's saying beware or be scared, like have that fear of that day. when we talk about taqwa, as we mentioned, it's not necessarily fear, rather it's more realizing that Allah is there, more realizing that He's looking, more realizing that He's present. These things, the what they say, the hunar, or the people who are special, the people who are able to differentiate or distinguish themselves from others, are the people who don't just talk about this, right? I'm talking about it. I've repeated the definition many times. I might repeat it more times, and I've repeated in a way where I can maybe even, have a class about it and so on and so forth. And, what is the form of the word and what is the root of the word and all of that. That's all okay. That does not necessarily imply or implicate or lead to me actually practicing this. Ya ayyuhan nas, اتقوا ربكم يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم, that beware of your Rabb. This is not something just by reading it, just by repeating it, that it will start happening. If I look in my life, if I truly look in my life and see that when I'm doing various things, when I'm, I don't know, going to school, when I'm at university, when I'm with my friends, when I'm with the people of the opposite gender, when I'm around them, when I'm with the teachers, when there's difficult times, do I have Allah as someone who plays a role in my life, right? If there is a chance for me to do something wrong, if there is a chance for me to look at an mahram, if there is a chance for me to cheat in an exam, if there's a chance for me to make some extra money, not in a halal way, if there's do I think about Allah or not? Is He there or not? When I'm, I don't know, sitting in a meeting, when I'm at the workplace, when someone says something wrong to me, someone is rude to me, I feel like someone's taking my rights, I'm taking someone's rights. These every single day kind of instances that we live through, only a person who can actually consciously live through those moments and the concept of muhasabah, and go back and try to look at their lives. Am I a person who really has, like, does Allah play a role in my life? Does He really play a role? This is what's really important. This is what differentiates um, the people who are able to excel as compared to others. A lot of people can talk about this. Okay, yes, we have people who don't even talk about this. We have people who don't even give it importance. We have people who don't even might not even know, what the verse of the Quran says. They don't, and all of that kind of stuff. But let's put all those people aside. Out of the people who, claim or want to be people who are known as God conscious, or people who are known to be, quote unquote, religious and whatnot. Out of those people, am I one of those people, right? Do I, when people talk about, for example, if I were hearing people, if I heard people talking about me and said, like, this person just doesn't really care about religion, they don't understand religion, they don't, would I be offended if I heard that? Would I be offended if I heard that? Right? These different little tests of that I can have for myself, these litmus tests that I can have for myself, to be able to see that, am I a person who really cares about the Quran? Am I a person who really contemplates the Quran? Am I really a person who cares about acting or according to the Quran? Or am I just someone who, I want to be better, but because I don't have an understanding, I just want to, be able to, do the, make all the noise and do all the things. But in reality, I'm not really practicing these. So this is something first and foremost for myself, as a reminder that no matter what you do, even if you speak for people and you give them reminders and you're studying the house and all of those things, everything in life can become a barrier. And it really takes a person to take that extra step to be able to think about these things, reflect on their life, and say, am I really someone? It's telling me, Ya ayyuhan nas, ittaqu rabbakum. Do I do that or not? Moving on, then it talks about وَاخْشَوْا يَوْمًا لَا يَجْزِي وَالِدٌ عَنْ وَلَدِهِ وَلَا مَوْلُودًا هُوَ جَازٍ عَنْ وَالِدِهِ شَيْئًا. So this is basically saying, and fear the day, or beware of the day when your father will not be able to take care of your actions, nor would a child be able to take care of their father's actions, or would not be able to um, answer for their actions. Again, this is a wake-up call for you and I. This is a wake-up call for all of people, all of all Muslims, all humans, that in this world we have this, and it's a good thing. It's something where it is recommended by Islam to have this interdependence. That I can't do this, so that person helps me do it. They can't do something, so I help them do it. And this is almost can you hear me? Yes. Okay. Um, where were we? Yeah. So we have this interdependence between each other. That, I depend on you, you depend on me, the engineer depends on the doctor and the teacher and the journalist. The journalist depends on the engineer and the doctor and the teacher and the grocery guy, and so on and so forth. There's interdependence. This it's part of being social, social beings, that this is part of it. So which is okay. That's something that's encouraged in Islam as well. However, we rely on others unjustly, or a place where it's not the place to rely on someone. For example, and we see that quite a bit, right? That a person will get away with something because of who they are. A person will get away with things in school because they say, "Do you not know who my father is?" Or "My father will come and talk to you, and my father will do this, or my father will do that." Or, "Do you not know who my brother is? Do you not know what family I'm from? Do you not know who my mother is? Do you not know this? Do you not know that? Do you not know my grandfather was? Do you not know, this entire city is named after me, this neighborhood is named after me. We're the head of our, I don't know, our village, and this and that, and all of those things, all of those things. Do you not know, I'm such and such, and my father is such and such, and they were such and such, and all these things where um, this is not necessarily the reliance or the interdependence that Islam had promoted. That people are getting things, or getting favors, or getting whatever they're getting, just because of something that they've claimed, or there's someone they know, or something they know is someone important, and so on and so forth. So these are things that we're used to in life, of seeing, and sometimes, because we become a part of such a society, that even us ourselves, we push those kind of cases even for ourselves. Okay, I can't get this done. Oh, my friend knows someone over there, so let's get it done. And which is, to some extent, it might even be okay, but in other cases might not be. But point being that we spend our 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 60 years, 70 years, 80 years, uh, no matter how many years that we live in this life, and if we get used to that sort of a thing, of that sort of whether it's the correct dependence on other, or the incorrect dependence on others, that it almost becomes second nature to us, that if I need something, I call out for help. Whereas over here, the Quran is saying that, basically trying to push us to to improve our actions in a way where we don't need to call out to anyone. We don't need that our actions are the things that will speak the loudest on that day. So over here, reminding us that listen, your father or your son or the people who used to be able to call out to, and whether rightly and sometimes even wrongly used to support you or used to be able to help you out. Guess what? This is the day when no, that's not gonna work. وَاخْشَوْا يَوْمًا لَا يَجْزِي وَالِدٌ عَنْ وَلَدِهِ, that the father will not be able to step up for their child, and the child will not be able to step up for the father both ways. It's not going to work. And essentially, this is almost like an extension of the first part where it says, Ya ayyuhan nas ittaqu, Ya ayyuhan nas ittaqu rabbakum, that be wary of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, know that He is. Work on your actions, be a little more conscious, try to do the actions, try to do them with the best of the niyas, try to do them with the best of the intentions, basically give it importance. And if you're able to live a life of taqwa, if you're able to live a life where you're practicing taqwa, then it would not be the case that I would need um, anyone for them to come and help me out. So that's essentially what the verse is kind of reminding us about the big day. And then towards the end, it says, Inna wa'dallahi haqq. Don't think that the promises of Allah, just because in this world you're used to people saying things and people hearing things, and it's okay, yeah, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. People say stuff all the time. They say they're gonna do this, but they don't. They say they're gonna come at this time, but they don't. They said they would take responsibility, but they don't, and so on and so forth. All these issues that we see in this world. But over here, it's saying, Inna wa'dallahi haqq, that don't get confused between how you're used to dealing with the people of the world and how you're going to be dealing with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Have no doubt that the promise of Allah is true, and it's the truth, and it's the ultimate truth, it's the haqq. There's nothing that will change that. Nothing that will change that. So when you read the words of Allah, read them, you realize that this is the truth. This is the truth. It will not be any other way. And because that is the truth, فَلَا تَغُرَّنَّكُمُ الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا. Therefore, do not let this worldly life deceive you. Do not let this worldly life tell you that, oh, come towards me. If you get more money, then you will be happy. If you get more money, then you'll be able to do more for your Islam. Come towards me. If you, have more of a position, then you will be able to be good. That is how you'll be successful. Come towards me. If you have recognition, then you will be successful. Otherwise, if you're, people are kind of moving forward, and your efforts are not being shown, and that will be such a waste of time, and it'll be a waste of your rights, and it'll be a waste of this and waste of that, and all these things that have absolutely no worth in Allah's eyes, but they have worth in the eyes of this worldly life. So the Quran is telling us, listen, do not fall for these things. Do not fall for these things. Do not let the worldly life deceive you. Um, do not let the worldly life deceive you, because remember that it is Allah's promise that is the truth. Inna wa'dallahi haqqun. Have that as something that's set in stone. Have that as a foundation for yourself. The Quran is trying to tell all of us that whatever Allah says, take that, realize it somehow, however you want to, think about it in a way that becomes set in stone for you, that this is not going to change. Therefore, do not let the worldly life deceive you. Do not fall for these things that, oh, I did this, but I didn't get recognition. Or I paid for this, but I didn't get recognition. Or I'm the one, I should have the position. Um, Can you hear me? Yes, inshallah. So basically, we were talking about that, I should have this, I should have the recognition, I should, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who he's the one whose promise is true. And anyways, so don't let the worldly life deceive you. And the worldly life is all of these things that, whether it's money, whether it's position, whether it's fame, whether it's recognition, whether it's, being on top of the list, whether it's, it's mine and it's not yours, and it's yours and it's not mine, and all these silly things that we give importance to in this world, and that essentially a lot of those are basically us falling, and the worldly life deceiving us, telling us, trying to tell us that this is the reality, that this is what's true, this is what's reality, whereas Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, Inna wa'da Allahi haq. No, it's the promise of Allah that is the truth, and not these things. These things don't have any reality to themselves. And then it continues, وَلَا يَغُرَّنَّكُمُ وَلَا يَغُرَّنَّكُمْ بِاللَّهِ al-gharur, and make sure that this shaitan, the gharur over here is talking about shaitan, that do not let this gharur, this shaitan, deceive you with regards to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that, inshallah, is, excuse me, another topic that about shaitan, that inshallah, if we have the tawfiq, maybe one of the days we can talk about it, inshallah. So I'll stop over here. And basically, if there's any questions, then we can ask those. So this was Surah number 31, Surah Luqman, and verse number 33. Nothing? Okay, if there's no questions, enjoy your iftar, and inshallah, keep the rest of us in your du'as. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for the sake of these holy nights, for the sake of the holy month, give us the tawfiq to be able to understand the Quran, give us the tawfiq to be able to build a relationship with the Quran, and inshallah give us the tawfiq to be able to act according to that understanding. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for the sake of this holy month, for the sake of the nights that are coming up, the Layali al-Qadr, give us the tawfiq to be able to make the most of this month. Oh Allah, we ask you, for the sake of this holy month, for the sake of your mercy, for the sake of Muhammad wa ali Muhammad, forgive us our sins, the sins of our parents, the sins of all our marhumin. Allah, we ask you, for the sake of this month, for the sake of your mercy, have mercy on our dear brothers and sisters in Palestine, relieve them of their distress, destroy their enemies, destroy the people who give them, are oppressing them, and making them go through this genocide. Oh Allah, we ask you, for the sake of this holy month, to hasten the reappearance of our Imam, and inshallah include us amongst his sincerest followers. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.